I have a question for you all. Has anyone ever seen $500,000 in cash? If the answer is yes, oh, good stuff, man. But if the answer is no, you still won't, because I don't have $500,000 worth in cash. I got $500,000 worth of watches. I'm GIA accredited gemologist Oscar Stone, owner of Oscar Stone NYC, and welcome to our first ever YouTube page. I'm going to use this video to explain the difference between Plain Jane and Aftermarket watches, because there is so much confusion behind all of that and people still don't fully understand which is which. Some people think Aftermarket watches are just fake. Some people think that Plain Jane watches have not as much value because they don't have diamonds in them. Both things are far from the truth, and we are going to get into it exactly. What is the difference between the two? What are the pros of each? And what are the cons of each? A Plain Jane watch is basically just the watch itself without deviating from the original way that the manufacturer intended it. In English, that means don't do anything to it. Once it's out the box, that is a Plain Jane watch. If you want to do any alteration with your watch, and you do with any jewelry store who will charge you a very fair price, now your watch is considered aftermarket. Okay, just this bezel, putting on this watch, now your watch is aftermarket. Now it's no longer original, and any dealer is gonna hold that against you. They're gonna say that now that your watch is not original, oh, I can't service it, Rolex doesn't recognize it anymore, this and that. They'll hurt your feelings and worse. The staff at Rolex and these authorized dealers are trained to do so. There are more extreme forms of aftermarket. Like, I could bust down this whole watch, and now a lot of watch purists would argue that your watch is fake now, or it's not original at all. Some argue that no, it's just diamonds, so there is parties that'll argue both ways. Anyway, one of the big things is that when you decide to change the bezel, make sure you get your original bezel back. Some people, that completely slips their mind that, once you put the aftermarket, you let the jewelry store, whoever, stay with the original bezel. That's a recipe for disaster, okay? Let's talk about the benefits of keeping your watch Plain Jane, because there are a few. There are a lot, actually. So the one reason why you absolutely would want to keep your watch Plain Jane is that there is a higher market. There's a higher market base. Some people use Plain Janes as investment pieces. For example, if you have $100,000, $200,000 lying around and you're not sure what to do with it, but you want to start a watch collection, watches are something you should actually look into getting into, because watch values, as far as I'm concerned, they don't go down. They just go up. They might stay the same for a while, but 9 out of 10 times, watches just either stay the same or they go up incrementally. I know a lot of people just buy and sell watches and they never wear them. I know people who have hundreds of plain watches and they've never worn them. I know watches that haven't been worn for 5 years, just so they stay preserved and fresh. Some people want to do a few things so that way they give their watch more life, so they give their look more life. And that's where we're going to go into aftermarket and what aftermarket means. And we're going to go into, do you lose money in the long run? This is a 42 millimeter Rolex Sky Dweller. And this is a 42 millimeter Sky Dweller, Rolex Sky Dweller, and the difference is very obvious. The difference is one is completely bust down while the other is Plain Jane. On the Plain Jane, I could make one phone call tomorrow and sell this watch. I will sell this watch immediately for the right price. There's hundreds of people willing to buy this watch from me. Now, there's a market for bust down watches, aftermarket watches, because they give your watch more life. They give your watch more pizzazz. 9 out of 10 times, the people who spend so much money on items is because they want to look good, they want to feel good, and they want something to match that. What is the price of something you like? Where do you value that? Fortunately for watches, I can give you that answer. On our left, this watch is going to cost you about $45,000, and on your right, this watch is going to cost you anywhere between $20,000 to $25,000. So almost double for the bust down version, but at the same time, I mean, these diamonds that get you noticed. This is hot. This is fire. I see this, and as another human being, I see someone who spends on what they like. I see someone who doesn't mind indulging themselves in the finer things in life. Guys, people customize things all the time. You did it because you wanted to do it, because it is your taste. Everybody is unique and everybody has their own style. At the end of the day, this is still gold, diamonds, stainless steel, and a lot of intricate movements that make this watch what it is. In the watch world, there are some watches though, there's some models that you'd be open-minded to icing out, by busting down or changing things about it, and there's some that you wouldn't. There's some models that, even though, you know, for example, I don't have the watch on me right now, but there's a watch, a Submariner, it's called the Hulk, okay? You could probably see it down right here. This watch is immaculate, it's beautiful, and it retails for somewhere in the $85,000 to $10,000 range from the Rolex store. But this watch is trading for almost $25,000 to $30,000. This is a watch that if you were to put any diamonds on it, the loss of value would be too high that I as a jeweler would not recommend it. Okay, and there's watches like that out there, that the watch has so much more value being plain that you wouldn't want to ice it out. And if you decide to purchase a watch from my business and then do all these aftermarket things to it, we practice client confidentiality. So whether you're a local client or an A-list celebrity, we will not speak to any media or we will not comment on anything that you decide to purchase. Whether someone watches this video or not, there's still going to be so much controversy on what Plain Jane versus aftermarket, what constitutes aftermarket, what is too much aftermarket, what is the right amount. It's a moral ambiguity, and everyone is entitled to, you know, purchase whatever they want at the end of the day. I'm a service. If you want me to bust down your, you know, $200,000 watch, that would bring the value down to like $150,000. And not add any value, I'll advise against it. But at the end of the day, the client is the client and we're a service. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it with the best quality, with the best work, and we're gonna provide the best service, and we're gonna be honest from the beginning to the end. But the client, if the client wants it, the client's gonna get it.